blocked away.
Bounce fast.
The base.
For the Black Bears are this guy, Mike McKinney and Kenny Mann.
Throws it out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 6 here in Singapore of the 2023 Leg 1 ABL season 2023 in a game Zamboanga Valientes versus the MS Matrix team from Malaysia. So this is game number 2. Game number 3 after this, by the way, be Hong Kong against the Singapore Slingers. So happy you could spend some time with us today as we get ready for this game 2 against a team, Malaysia, who has won 1 game and lost 2, and Zamboanga is 1-1. Hello, I'm Chuck Schreiner. My co-commentator Scotty McKinnon is be joining us, and right now let's go to Scotty on the court right now as he has a couple interviews going for us. Scotty.
Yeah, cool. Here we are with James Kuwete, the dynamic scoring guard for the Zamboanga Valientes. 33 pointers for your last game. What can we expect from one of the best guards we have here in this tournament?
Well, honestly, first I'm gonna my teammates are gonna look for me. I'm gonna just try my best out there to execute more and get my teammates going, and then they're gonna look for me afterwards, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we're really impressed with you guys' run and gun style so far, getting up. What can we expect that press and that kind of pace today in tempo?
For sure, yeah, that's us. We're a running team. We're not like a half-court team, but for sure you're gonna see more of that today, and it'll be more fun. You'll see.
Well, James, it's been really impressive to watch you play in your first game in the ABL yesterday. Can't wait to see what we have in store from you today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome, bud. Cheers, Nick. We're here with Amir Williams, the big man in the middle for the NS Matrix Malaysia. You held Macau to 20 points yesterday. A fantastic defensive job by you guys, being the anchor of that defense. Why is it so important for your team to defend?
I mean, first 2 games, teams came out and scored 80 points apiece. We had to go to try to keep our teams under a certain amount. So defense really wins games for us. We have a great group offensively, but defense is where we really need to lock in.
Yeah, and so you're playing a team that likes to run and gun today in the Zamboanga Valientes. What's the game plan do you have in store for them today?
Can't give out too much, but we know they're a fast-paced team, and we kind of play the same way. So we got to match their energy from the jump and try to come out. And like I said, defense is our main thing, our main priority. So match their energy, get stops defensively, so we can also run.
Well, Amir, your presence in the middle has been really felt this week. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very, Scotty. Keys to the game today. How about Zamboanga Valientes? They've outscored opponents in the fourth quarter both times. 10 players with at least 1 field goal versus Saigon Heat. They do go very deep. They've got a lot of players that can score, and they play the up-tempo game. Only free throw attempts, 4 free throw attempts last game. How about on the other side of the ball? NS Matrix Malaysia held Macau Black Bears to 26% from the field. 5 players with double-digit scoring in that game, and 23 bench points worth against the Macau Black Bears. So a couple of keys to the game for you for these 2 teams. So a couple of guys to look out for Malaysia. Number 27, Ting Chong Hong. What a tournament he's had so far. And there are some of the highlights of the game. And this is Zamboanga, first of all. This against Saigon. Now, Saigon led them by over 15 points going into that fourth quarter, but they came storming back, did Zamboanga, and they made it a very close game. Only lost 75-71, and this is why they can really put points on the board in a hurry. So Saigon, who enjoyed a lead throughout the game, got reeled in pretty quickly in that fourth quarter. The other side of the ball, Malaysia, they are a team that gets it done on the defensive end, as they said, but they've got some guys that can run and gun as well. They shoot well from the outside, and they're good in the open court also. Little fadeaway jumper that time by Iloka. We talked about Ting Chong Hong. Here he is again, career high 5 assists versus Macau Black Bears. 4 steals against the Black Bears as well, and 2 three-pointers made in that game. How about on the other side of the ball? James Quitete, made his debut versus the Saigon Heat. Three-pointers made. He's +7 on the floor. So a couple matchups to look forward to. If we look at them right next to each other, Quete, 12 points. Ting Chung Hung, 10. This is the last game, by the way. 6 rebounds, 5, 2 assists to 5. And Ting had 4 steals. So that's the matchup, one of the matchups that you need to be aware of going into this game. Okay, so Scotty, a couple teams, going in similar directions. Malaysia, hard luck losers in their first 2 games. We know that Singapore just barely beat them. And then they took another similar loss in their second game against Saigon. That was 88-84. Zamboanga rolled over Surabaya with a really tough fourth quarter where they came out and scored 43 points. And then they ran into Saigon last game. Furious comeback in the fourth quarter, came a little bit short, and they lost 75-71.
Yeah, well, the Zamboanga Valientes can put some points on the board, and they can put the points on the board in a hurry. So if they can get out in transition, if they can cause those turnovers with that full court press that's been very disruptive for the other teams, it's going to be very tough for NX Matrix Malaysia to keep up with that.
Zimbabwe also goes very deep. They got 10 guys that got on the board. They'll substitute in their coach, Expedio de los Santos. He doesn't mind substituting at any time.
No, the general managers and the coaches down there, Coach Joseph Ramarte, their general manager Reggie, they've really put together a deep and fast and athletic squad, and so it's been really impressive to see them go that deep into the benches, 11, 12 players in early in the first half, which allows them to play at that frantic and breakneck pace, like you said.
Hester is their big guy, 6'6" player from the U.S., 198 pounds from Miami-Dade. He's the guy that will probably lead the team in scoring most of the time, but they've got a whole fuselage of players that they can plug in wherever. So, as you said, they go very deep. On the other side of the ball, Coach, Malaysia, they have a 3-headed monster that they can throw in there. Amir Williams, what a rebounder he has been. And they can replace him with Iloka, so he is sort of the luxury guy that they can throw in at any time. They talked about Wong Yi Hao also. He's a good scorer. Ting, we saw the graphic on him. Tevin Glass, he's a guy that just tortures Singapore. He's a guy that can score and can rebound as well.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed with the 2 wings, the 2 local wings, Wong Yi Hao and Ting Chung Hung. Both 6'5", both can do it inside, outside, both defend really hard in the perimeter guard positions. They have been a very fun duo to watch and have really represented Malaysia and their club tremendously well so far in this starting invitational tournament. Okay,
Malaysia, again, the hard luck team of this tournament. Again, we said they lost a couple of heartbreakers to begin they probably had maybe the hardest schedule of all. Now they run into a run and gun team. And I was listening to that interview that you just did with Amir, and he was saying, yeah, we like to get down the court as well. Do you think it would be advisable for Malaysia to try and run with Zimbabwe?
I think sporadically. I think when they get a good defensive stop, for them to get out is a good thing, but the last thing that they want to do is get that ping pong game that Zamboanga likes to get going, where it's transition, 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 and it's just running constantly. I think they need to pick and choose when they're going to run, and it has to be in situations that are advantageous for them.
Saigon almost made that mistake in the fourth quarter yesterday, Scotty, against this Zamboanga team, and almost lost the game as a result of it. It's very, very difficult once you get into that pace with Zimbabwe to slow it down again, and Zimbabwe just won't let you do it.
No, they put 17 points on them in 3 minutes, and all of a sudden it was a 4-point game. And if that game would have been 2-3 minutes longer, I'm putting my money on the Zamboanga Valientes to win that basketball game. So it was unadvisable, and I think the Saigon Heat team knew that. And let's see if the NX Matrix can stay out of it.
So maybe the key for Malaysia is to make sure that they don't fall behind at the beginning of the game. In other words, they play their game. As we look at the referees today's game, Mr. Ho, Mr. Chang, and Mr. Neo, Chinese Taipei, Mr. Chang and Ho are, and Mr. Neo from Singapore. They've done such a fine job in this tournament. Okay, we spent a little bit of extra time breaking down these 2 teams because I find them so interesting. Such a Malaysia, to me, they're a team that can score 80 points against anybody. Zimbabwe, well, they can put up anywhere from 70 to 100 points in a game as well. So we'll see how this turns out. For Malaysia, Starting five, Wang Yi Hao, Amir Williams, Ting Chung Hung, Tevin Glass, and Ong Wei Young. Pretty much the same lines that they've run out there every single time. And remember, they've got the Iloka, the super six-man, to come off the bench. He gives them a lot of length that they feel that that's what they need to do. But I think that Malaysia is going to be going with a team that's a little bit quicker at the first of the game. Respect given to Zamboanga. And there's Jeff Alvin Viernes, the coach of Malaysia. He's done a very good job, very well respected here in this part of the world for the work that he's done, not only with the ABL, but also with some youth teams too. Here's Zamboanga Valientes, Kekete James, or James Kekete, Antonio Hester, Rudy Lingay, Jeremy Arthur. He was a little bit disappointing in the last game. Look for him to rebound. And then Ryan Smith, he's had an up and down tournament as well.
Yeah, and he really has to be a presence today for them against Amir Williams, because Amir Williams really controls that paint on the offensive and defensive end. And again, moving forward, Ryan Smith and Antonio Hester have to stay out of early foul trouble. Both picked up 3 fouls in the first half yesterday. It is crucial for the Zamboanga Valientes that they do not get into that early foul trouble again today.
Good point, Scotty. That's the reason why they fell into the big hole they did early against Saigon. If they can stay out of trouble, they've got a good shot of upsetting Malaysia. Malaysia, one of the pre-tournament favorites. They are a perennial star team here in the ABL. They have one championship to their credit, the Malaysia does, not Matrix. So they're trying to continue the proud tradition that came before them. And we'll see if they're able to do that. Again, they're 1 win, 2 losses, and Zimbabwe 1-1 thus far. So Zimbabwe will, by the way, will have to finish out their leg of the Singapore part of the ABL line by playing Singapore tomorrow in the finale. That will be at 6 p.m. tomorrow, the last game that you'll see here in the Singapore leg of the 2023 ABL season.
They have a tough end of this schedule, 3 days in a row, playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a very back-end heavy schedule for the Zamboanga Valientes here to end this Invitational in Singapore.
And very tough 3 teams to play also, Saigon, Malaysia, and then Singapore.
That's a great point.
Okay, crowds slowly starting to trickle in. Of course, the place will be jam-packed next game when Hong Kong and Singapore do battle. Chuck Schreiner along with Scotty McKinnon, hoping you're enjoying it as much as we are bringing it to you. 16 games total. We've been with you the whole way. Today we'll be on air for all 3 games. Tomorrow also, confirmation of our game now, Zamboanga Valientes versus NS Matrix Malaysia from here at the OCBC Arena, just about to start it off. Malaysia in the white uniforms, Zamboanga in the black and gold. Just about ready to get underway, so it'll be Smith from Zamboanga. Check that, Smith, Zimbabwe is in the white, the Matrix are in the dark. Don't want to give false information right off the bat. So Williams loses the touch to Smith, and Zimbabwe again in the white uniforms coming at you from left to right. That's Ngane running the point. Ooh, backup jumper, there's a foul there.
And that's Kukete, and he's super important for them. Coming off the ball screen, the Phil Canadian free agent. This guy can play and this guy can score. A dynamic shooting guard, gets himself to the line early here in this first quarter.
6'2", the Canadian.
There's a bunch of different professional leagues in Asia looking at him right now. The Korean Basketball League, the Japanese B League. A lot of different organizations within Asia looking to get their hands on this talent.
Gets first of 2. And both of them. So quick 2-0 lead for Zamboanga. Back comes Malaysia. Good movement off the ball. And that's Tevin Glass, number 40, getting the ball to his running mate Williams. Smith on him, rolling to the basket, foul, and counted to 1.
We talked about that presence in the middle. We talked about the battle between the big men, and Amir Williams goes straight to work here on the first possession for the Matrix.
Testing each other out. Williams, probably the more household name. Let's see who they gave that foul to. They gave that foul to Ong, number 71. Check that.
I think that was on Lingane.
Yeah, Lingane.
And you've looked right now, Antonio Hester is not guarding Tevin Glass. They have Jeremy Arthur in him. I think that is to keep him out of foul trouble here early in the game. So Antonio Hester guarding a local instead.
Jeremy Arthur with a little turnaround, oohs and ahs from the crowd. So 4-2 in favor of Zamboanga.
Well-deserved oohs and ahs.
Glass again from the same spot, trying to turn the corner, nowhere to go. Kick back out again, long three is going to be off the mark, tipped around. Smith with the board. Getting it back in the hands of Coquette. Bounce pass ahead. Arthur got a touch. Reverse is off the mark, back come Malaysia. Push from behind, no call. Rolling to the glass, nothing.
And Amir Williams took a shot to the face there. He's slow to get up.
You can see Zamboanga, if Malaysia wants to play that game, they'll love to do it. So very quickly, 6-2.
Yeah, and Amir Williams is underneath the rim on one knee. Took a really big shot to possession before. I think he took it to his eye or to his face. He's rubbing his face right now. It doesn't look too serious, but he's not very comfortable right now, Amir Williams.
There he is.
We a poke to the eye.
Yeah.
Looks in a lot of pain.
I don't know if he's wearing contact lenses or not, if that would be an issue, but I think he's going to have to come out for a while.
Yeah, and this isn't good for the NX Matrix Malaysia. He's a very important anchor to their defense and fantastic player around the rim on the offensive end.
Well, they don't really have a replacement for Williams. I mean, they've got some guys they can bring in, but Williams is an anchor on that team. So he'll come out and sit down for a while. Try and shake it off. Another wide open look from that right side. Zamboanga not coming out to contest the threes. Momentarily knocked away by Glass. Lead pass. The kick. We were wondering how Zamboanga would respond if they had to be put in a half-court offense. Answer, they did pretty good. The ball gets picked off. They did pretty good against Saigon. Glass. Turnaround look is off the mark. Hustling in to get his own rebound, but just a little bit short. And rolling to the basket real quick. Smith is tied up as he goes in. Nice job in transition by Jeremy Arthur.
Yeah, Jeremy Arthur's had a great start to this game, and I really like what the Zamboanga coaching staff has done. They've put Jeremy Arthur on Tevin Glass, and they're keeping Antonio Hester off of him. Antonio Hester got 3 early fouls last game. They're keeping him on a local player so that he doesn't pick it up right away. It's a tremendously smart decision and strategy.
Smith will shoot 2. Smith runs the floor real well. Don't really think he's in there so much for his scoring, but he does give the team length. Plays good defense on the interior, rebounds. Another wide open look. Again, Zamboanga not coming out on the shooters at all. So 7-5.
Yeah, Wang Yi, how he shot the ball this week. Had a really good few games for the next Malaysian team.
Smith picking up a loose ball. Good decision by him. 9-5. Off the dribble. Little teardrop floater.
Really smart from Wang. He's attacking Hester. He knows Hester's a little gun shy with those fouls yesterday. Goes right at him to the rim.
Gane gives it up to Coquette. Coquette rumbles to the basket. Can't get it to fall. Did everything right, but couldn't get the ball to go in the cylinder. Left-hand dribble through the crowd. Out of bounds it goes.
And that's where you missed Amir Williams. That's a two-handed flush if Amir Williams is running the floor there.
Aluka in for Williams, by the way, number 1. He's that super sub we were talking about. What a weapon they have off the bench.
Yeah, 6'10", 250 pounds, all muscle.
Some highlights in action. As advertised, Zamboanga in white, attacking very often on this timeout. So 9-7. We'll hope that Williams can get back into the game shortly.
He looks pretty good over there. He's behind the bench. He's been rubbing his eye, but he's standing up now. He looks out of pain, and so look to see him come back in the game here in the next few minutes.
Well, Matrix has probably drawn about the worst draw you could have in this leg. Of course, who knew before you came in the tournament all teams are equal? But they have a very, very difficult draw. Drawing Singapore, Saigon, and of course Macau they took care of very easily last night, but that was the first game that they had. They won that game 73-54. Zamboanga, on the other hand, relatively easy time against Surabaya, but then they run into Saigon and again have to play Malaysia now. And then tomorrow, ending this leg with a 6 o'clock date with Singapore, the Slingers. That'll be both those teams' final game.
So Malaysia picks up a little full court press here.
See how they handle that. Arthur going against Glass, rises and fires, rims in and out. Glass trying to go coast to coast, and what a follow by Smith.
Wow,
playing with a lot
touch.
of energy tonight, isn't he?
What touch, one-handed off 1 foot, the finesse to put it in. Fantastic on the fast break there, transition from Ryan Smith.
Something we haven't seen Smith in this tournament.
It's a great point, Chuck.
Ting gives it up to Glass. Glass off the glass, in.
Good decision to post him up. He's got some size on Jeremy Arthur.
Amores running the offense now. Smith staying home at the top. Back out to him. He can shoot that, and does. Smith on fire here in the first quarter.
What a start for Ryan Smith. He's got 8 points now on 3-on-3 from the field and 3 rebounds. He has really come to play tonight. Excited to go against the NX Matrix bigs.
Good interior defense by Zamboanga. Smith with another board. Lead pass to Arthur. Arthur, well, not rewarded for the showmanship that time, that's for sure.
Yeah, Hester was fading to the corner and a little ambitious from Jeremy Arthur going behind the back there.
Check it out again, there it is. Ball crashes into the placards just in front of us.
Hester was open too. Here comes Amir Williams.
Oh, miss on that. Hanging on the rim. So the ball will go to Zamboanga.
And you can see the effect Amir Williams has. He's in the game for about 2 seconds, and obviously he gasses the dunk and misses it, but
off the floater, the miss on the floater, and right back on it.
he has a big presence in the middle there for the Matrix.
Really trying to make a statement on Smith that time. Arthur. Hester. Ball in the hands of Lingane. Now back to Hester, rolling to the basket, is blocked and up and in. That's Smith again.
Smith with the little tip from his shoulder, showing the touch on both ends. Ryan Smith, what a game so far, 10 points.
Wide open look, missed that time. Arthur, full of running that time, again behind the back. Smith didn't get it to the end. Alertly corrals it over in the corner. Arthur again from 3 is going to be off the mark. Glass to Williams. Oh, missing another layup.
Yeah, 2 bunnies for Williams. You wonder if the eye's affecting him right there, because those are an easy layup and dunk for him.
The trailer Smith again. He is everywhere, Scotty.
Chuck, you said you'd notice a difference in his energy tonight.
Yeah.
And man, has he controlled this first 7 minutes. 12 points already for Ryan Smith.
Long 3 off the mark. Hester with the board. Looking for runners on the right-hand side. He finds Coete. A little bit behind him. Arthur turns and fires off a 1 foot. Good.
Jeremy Arthur coming to play as well. 3 of 5 for 6 points and a nice fadeaway jump shot there. He's got a nice little style to his game.
And Malaysia early on having problems with Zamboanga's pace and their energy. Glass Shot was changed when the double team came over. 1 and out. Back they come, getting behind the defense is Hester for 2.
Wow, and what a start for the Zamboanga Valientes. They're doing everything on the offensive end to the tune of 22 points here in the first quarter.
Williams. Ting changes gears. Smith picks up the loose ball. 2-on-1. Foul. And had it gone, it would have counted. So Hester will make it have to make him from the line.
Zamboanga's got 8 fast break points now to 0 for the NX Matrix Malaysia.
There's 2 of them right there, courtesy of Mr. Hester.
And you got to be impressed right now with Jeremy Arthur's defense on Tevin Glass. Tevin Glass has got 2 points. Jeremy Arthur is giving up about 2 inches and 20 pounds at his position there, and he's locking down Tevin Glass, one of the all-star imports we have here in the ABL.
Will Deng, no sign of him in the game yet for Zamboanga.
Coach Jeff Viernes has subbed off Williams and Tevin Glass, so I would be very surprised if it's not transition and attacking the rim for the next couple possessions for the Zamboanga Valientes.
Yeah. Try and do it with a little bit of a smaller lineup, maybe insert a little bit of speed into the game. There's a foul on the penetration. Ting will go to the line.
Haven't heard a lot from Ting Chung Hung yet. He was very crucial and vital to their performance last night against Macau. Had a tremendous game for them.
So Aluka stays in the game. Checking out from Malaysia will be Wong Yi Han. Coach Viernes not happy with the results of the effort of his team so far.
Yeah, and I like this sub. Tevin Glass goes out of the game, so does Jeremy Arthur. Get him a little bit rest when they're imports another game. As soon as he comes back in, I'd put Jeremy Arthur back in there as well.
It's the first one, 24-10 now.
Chuck Ryan Smith, 12 points, 7 rebounds. And you said you noticed a little bit of difference in his energy. It has been very evident tonight.
Deng in the game now, number 15. Also Denver Cadiz, the little redhead, you see him there on that left side. More evidence of the depth that Zamboanga has. So Coach Viernes makes his changes to get a smaller and quicker lineup in, and Coach De Los Santos counters. Scott.
Yeah, very interesting strategies on both sides here.
Checking in the game now is Carino, 6'8" Philippine player. Played for Pegasus in Brunei.
He had a very good game for them last game. Out of Sam Betta, his length and his activity on both the three-point line as well as around the rim really bothered the Saigon Heat.
Ong Wee Yong checking in the game. And remember, both these teams have games tomorrow as well. That's also a factor in these substitutions. But there's the block by Cordiz. Great vision by the little guy.
That's Carino's hands again, his length. He really gets his hands in the passing lanes and disrupts stuff for the opponents.
Cordiz doing a great job in the open court. Watch him knowing exactly where his trailers are. Getting the ball up to Hester. Thought about it, did Carino. 3 if it goes, it does not. Quete on the miss. Ooh, almost backcourt, I think it is. Yes, backcourt violation from Malaysia.
Great call there, Chuck. Fantastic pressure from Quete. Gets up, makes the guard pick up the ball as he crosses half and causes the turnover. He has to throw it back across half for the over and back.
It looks like Malaysia sort of getting sucked into Zamboanga's game a little bit, Scotty. This happened to Saigon in the 4th quarter last night.
Yeah, and they're very good at doing that. They just push the pace, they push the tempo, and they just get you to play the style that they want.
Cadiz over the top. Nice job smelling that out by Glass.
Yeah, Malaysia dropped into a 2-3 zone there, and a really good job of, like you said, sniffing out the backside for Tevin Glass and using his athleticism to get up there and steal the basketball.
Number 14, Kwek, checking into the game now, 2 for Malaysia. 31-year-old, 6'8", on the Malaysian national team. He played for the Westport Dragons, if you remember, in 2019-2020, that COVID-shortened season.
Yeah, I remember the KL Dragons very, very well.
Ooh, ball kicked. Like picks it up. Loka, excuse me. Devin Glass. Outside to Aloka on the miss. Rebound taken by Amores. Rolling to the basket. Kick back outside. And travel with the ball.
And I would have loved to seen Antonio Hester shoot that basketball. They had the layup in the transition. He was wide open, bowling down towards the rim. And a little too unselfish from their world import there.
Will Chen called on the travel. It is hassling in the backcourt. Be a check foul there, I believe, against Cadiz.
Yeah, it's his second of the game, and then both fouls have been as soon as that guy gets going towards the rim, north-south, if you get on their body and you cause a disadvantage, they're going to call that foul. And so now the Matrix are in the penalty.
Ong Wei Yong at the line. Interesting, both these coaches substituting very freely here in the first quarter, Scotty.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the game tomorrow. And I especially I think that speaks to Zamboanga playing 3 games in a row here on the back end of the tournament.
Rattles in and out. Rebound by Williams. Kicks it. Long 3. If it goes, it does.
Yeah, and Ryan Smith steps out of the game, and Amir Williams with a big offensive rebound there.
24-15. 44.2 to go here in the first quarter, so a timeout being called, I believe, by Zamboanga. Well, Scotty, Malaysia, a little bit better stuff on the back of that 4-point play right there, but Zamboanga forcing the action and sort of dictating the pace early on here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and like you said, Chuck, they've dictated the pace. They scored 24 points here in the first quarter, which would get them up around their 100-point averages that they're scoring in a game. The interesting part is, again, their ability to defend. They've held a very solid NX Matrix Malaysia team to 15 points. And we talked about this the other day. We're tremendously impressed with not only their ability to get out in transition, but it's their ability on the defensive end to continue to get consistent stops.
Great point. You know, we saw them in the first game against Surbai, and to be honest, we didn't think really that much of them in the first 3 quarters. It looked like Surbai had the game well in hand, and then they went off in that fourth quarter, and they haven't looked back since. They're a very dangerous team, and of course that depth. We keep going back to teams that have depth. They're the ones that hang around and are the most dangerous throughout the whole game, and Malaysia sort of looking that way as well. They're substituting 4 of their players in this first quarter as well. So everybody getting a blow, everybody getting a chance to get in and get some touches and trying to find the right combination, at least Malaysia is, to try and deal with this very difficult team to play. Zimbabwe, to me, is the most difficult team to play.
I think you said
the
perfect word, Chuck, dangerous. They are as dangerous as they come, and dangerous for any team. Doesn't matter if they're top of the field or bottom.
There's a walk there. It is making the mistake.
And Malaysia dropped back into that 2-3 zone again, and Zamboanga was a little confused about what they were in. So a lot of coaching changes and strategies coming up here on both sides.
There's Glass off the dribble on Hester. Takes him to the rack, can't get it to fall. And 1. Wrong place at the wrong time for Carino. He was just victimized right there.
Love that Malaysia stuck with it there. Tevin Glass misses the initial layup, doesn't give up on the play, parks himself right back underneath the rim, and there's the and 1. See how he didn't give up on that play? Got right back in, stuck himself on the block, and ended up with a great finish and foul shot.
3-point play. So just like that, Malaysia back to within 6. A little bit out of control, Cadiz. Wild looking shot into the first quarter. Interesting looking games. Zamboanga looked like that they were possibly going to run away with it in the first quarter. They led 22-9. But a big run by Malaysia in the last 4 minutes get things to within 6. And we'll look at some highlights here in the first quarter. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 24-16 in favor of Zamboanga Valientes over NS Matrix Malaysia here at the OCBC Arena in the Lion City of Singapore. Game number 2 of our triple header. You missed the first game. Saigon Heat crushing Lemur Surabaya by over 50 points. Long 3 is going to be off the mark. This game, Zamboanga jumped off to a 22-9 lead, and they've been reeled in steadily by determined NS Matrix Malaysia team, who are sitting at 1 win and 2 losses. Zamboanga at 1-1. Zamboanga will be playing a game tomorrow. They will be playing Singapore. So Matrix from Malaysia in black with a white trim. Zamboanga from Philippines in white, defending at the moment.
Yeah, and so Hester guards Glass for his first possession of the game, guarding him, and he picks up a defensive foul. And so he really needs to stay away from those wrestling matches, from those 50-50 grabbing each other fouls.
Hester trying to inbound it still. Glass. Good rotation. Long 3 is going to be off the mark. Good rebound by Hester. Pushing it hard still is Arthur. Arthur through a crowd and has it knocked away by Williams.
And so that's the advantage of Amir Williams. Both guards there for the NX Matrix Malaysia. They funneled him, or Arthur, straight to Williams. They knew they had Williams on the rim, and they just let him part the ways, funneled him straight into Williams, who blocked the shot.
Kick back outside. Cadiz has gone to the bench. Smith way outside. Ball in the air. Out of bounds it goes. It'll stay with Zamboanga.
Yeah, and so the Matrix are in a 2-3 zone now, and the Zamboanga Valentes have not liked it. It's slowed them down a little bit, and it's confused their offense a little bit. When you have a team that hasn't been together a long time, this is a great thing to do. Change up the defenses and make them try and figure out what's going on.
Langane running the point now. Number 10. Losing it on the ground, and back come Malaysia. They don't mind getting in the open court either, but they lose at that time. Bounce pass to get out of it. 3-on-2, and from the corner, a long 3 is going to be off the mark. Malaysia ready to run again. They'll hold it up. Smart decision. Cutters going through. Williams left alone. He'll take the three and nail it.
Chuck, you made a great point. He's got a nice stroke on him for someone 6'11", and he's got 5 points, but he's only played 5 minutes. So he's such a big factor for their basketball team.
Gane continues to run the point. Bounce pass over to Arthur. Over in the corner is Amores. Long three! Wow! Big smile on his face.
Lingane bails out Zamboanga there at the shot clock. Not a great possession, but Rudy Lingane puts on the Superman cape and bails them out.
Nice job getting through, can't finish. A bunch of layups being missed by both these teams early on. Lingane down into the corner. Oh, nice move by Hester. Crisscrossing the lane.
Love that aggressiveness from Antonio Hester. Inside out dribble, fantastic finish at the rim for his 6th point of the game.
So 8-point lead now by Zamboanga. Glass. Bumped, he'll go to the line.
And that's Antonio Hester's 2nd foul.
Well, they can't afford to have him. I'm sure they're going to sub for him right now, but there it is, the bump. I don't know the wisdom of having him guarding somebody outside like that, especially somebody who will put the ball on the floor and dribble penetrate. He might be better served on the wing somewhere or somewhere further away from the ball, further from the top of the key. He seems to pick up a lot of fouls out there.
They made such a good decision at the beginning of the game to put Jeremy Arthur and Tevin Glass, because Glass doesn't post up a ton. He's a face-up player, and Hester could help from the weak side, but Hester's only guarded him for 3 minutes, and he's got 2 fouls already. So I would be very surprised his next possession if Jeremy Arthur is not guarding Tevin Glass.
So back to a 6-point lead. That's what it was at the end of the quarter. Very intriguing game, like a chess match, this one.
It's a great description, Chuck. And now Matrix falls into that 2-2-1 they do after every single foul shot.
Got behind the back pass by Arthur again. That's the 3rd time he's used that. Ngane. Arthur from 3, yes, fills it up.
Jeremy Arthur, 9 points now, 3 of 7, and shooting the ball in.
Show and go move on the spin, turns, fires, can't make it. Ngane. Arthur!
Kuwete.
Check that, the Kuwete.
Everyone's shooting it. How can you tell the difference?
Yeah, the 2 headbands are what confused me. Contact inside. Is that Hester again? If it is, that's 3. See, I think it's going to go against Lingane. Yeah. Lingane, lucky for Hester.
Oh, very lucky. And you can see how vertical he is there. And everyone, even Jeremy Arthur after, would say, no, he was vertical. The last thing they want is him to pick up his 3rd foul with 6 minutes left here in the half.
At the line is Wong Yi Hao. So just like that, Zamboanga, Scotty, we talked about how dangerous they were, the best synonym that we can come up with. 6 points just a second ago. Now it's 12.
Yeah, and they figured out the zone. They figured out the 2-3 zone. They've hit a couple threes, so it's going to be very interesting to see if the NX Matrix Malaysia stay in this zone. And now they've gone to a full court man press. They're really switching these defenses up.
Trying to counter that press, that quickness. Arthur shows it again, knocked away by Williams.
Again, it's such a luxury when you have Amir Williams behind there. You can be so aggressive out on the perimeter because you know as soon as they beat you, if they're going to the rim, they're going straight into the big dog himself, Amir Williams.
That also speaks to the no fear factor of Zamboanga. They go right at you. Here's Smith again. Way off the mark there. An incredible first 5 or 6 minutes for Smith. He's gone quiet since. Here's Glass. Working on Hester again. Misses it. Arthur ready to run after every single rebound, or every time he gets the ball. First thing, we're running, and look at this. Turn and shoot. The follow by Arthur. Out of the cylinder and out of bounds it goes. It'll stay with Zamboanga. What a little sequence. Man, Arthur is full of steam tonight.
Everywhere. And they play some real exciting basketball, hey, Zamboanga. Jeff Bernardo should have shot that basketball. He had a layup. At his height, it's understandable why he wanted a shot fake, but they really play an exciting brand of basketball, and Singapore fans are going to be very lucky to watch this for the next couple days here on the weekend.
Oh, touch foul there. Very quick whistle. Foul on De Wee Young. That's that previous play. Yeah, you're right. Bernardo should have done better with that.
Yeah, he had a layup.
Touch foul again. Again, that goes on De Wee Young. That's twice. Don't know what he's done in a previous life to draw the wrath of the referee like that. My goodness. Those are tough calls.
Chuck, I really like you said about Jeremy Arthur. He's really come to play today. 9 points, defending the best import on the other team. He is a spark plug for them right now.
Hester gives it up. Arthur, jumper off the mark. Williams with yet another board into the hands of Hugh. Almost stolen away. Wow.
And they just force you to play their brand of basketball. I don't know what it is the pressure, if it's the quickness, the athleticism, the agility, but they make you play their style.
All the above. And then another substitution coming in. Cataline. Ricardo Canaline, 35-year-old, 6'2". There's Glass finally getting off the mark.
Yeah, 10 points for him on 3 of 10 from the field, and you don't want to let him get started because when he does, it's water flowing downhill.
Hester going down. Slipped on some moisture somewhere. Smith. From three.
Talked about him early, Chuck. He's now 6 of 7 for 15 points, and Bernardo steals the basketball.
I mean, Zamboanga just challenging every single pass, filling in the lanes. Watch Hester here. Oof. There's Smith with the three.
And you said he could shoot it, and he shot it really well today. 2 of 3 from 3 already.
Another example, one of these bigs, they like to play away from the basket. Fouls of aggression. That by Bernardo, a little bit silly there.
Yeah, and that's bonus now for the Matrix. They'll shoot foul shots from here out with 4 minutes left in the second period. Interesting. I think Antonio Hester's a little bit in his own head with these fouls. He's only taken 5 shot attempts today. He's playing hard, but he's not that aggressor that he was in offense the first game where he had 35+ points. And I think that sometimes that does affect you as a player when you pick up 3 early fouls, then you pick up 2 really quickly in the second quarter. It's of this game.
Hugh Jiahao was at the line there. 9-point lead now by the team from the Philippines. Hester, a little bit too ambitious, knocked away. Malaysia on the run now. Glass off balance shot, can't get it to fall. The tip is no good. Williams right there to clean it up. Tipped up again. Zamboanga coming away with a blocking foul.
There's something different about Ryan Smith tonight. That was a second effort jump there to tip the ball back to himself and win the possession for his team. He's really making a difference here on the offense and defensive end.
Coming all the way down after getting a shot blocked at the other end and being a factor on the defensive end, Scotty. Good hustle. Another substitution coming in now for Zamboanga.
Yeah, and again, Chuck, they played all 12 players, or all 12 players now have played the first Half amazing depth.
Smith with another three and another make.
Well, Ryan Smith must have listened to that interview because he has come to win this matchup tonight. 18 points now, 10 rebounds, double-double in the first half.
12-point lead now for Zamboanga. Push from behind. Morez.
Yeah, and for Zamboanga right now, it's all the points in the paint. They have 14 points in the paint to 6. And with a team with Amir Williams and Tevin Glass, you think that's impossible in the first half.
Yeah, at the moment, it just doesn't seem like those two are enough.
Yeah. And you haven't had the production yet from Ting Chung Hung, has been fantastic for Malaysia so far this tournament. He's got 1 point right now.
He's been pretty much neutralized. Quete continuing to run the offense.
Wow, what a step back from Kuquete. That boy can shoot the basketball.
14-point lead. Tying the biggest lead of the game so far. Nice little move there on the give and go. Finished by Hugh.
And Kuquete looks like he's 19 years old.
Doesn't he?
Wow.
Kuquete has his pocket pick that time. And a foul. So Wong will have to earn it at the line.
Yeah, and J.R. calling for an offhand offensive foul there. And let's look at this. It's interesting to see if Wong pushes off here with his offhand.
He does. He does.
Oh, in my mind, I thought that might have been offensive there.
Could have been.
Savvy move from the veteran Wong. 6'5", 26-year-old who played for the Westport KL Dragons as well.
So this to cut it to a 10-point lead.
So back there, 2-2-1.
Yeah, this has had limited success. I mean, they're just so fast. Another three.
Wow, shooting it in from the three-point line right now. They're 7-12 for 58%, and Kenmark Carino, your 6'9" forward, steps out and shoots it.
Ooh, almost walked with the ball that time, got away with it, so Hugh finishing it up.
Yeah, the 5'8", 21-year-old's had a nice little stretch here, 2 baskets in a row.
Kuquete again. Gets around one defender. Kick, good ball rotation. Back to Carino for 3, off the mark. Foul away from the ball.
And that's Jonathan Belorio, the 6'6" forward of Latran, the 12th player who got into the game this first half from Zamboanga Valientes. You talk about depth. I'm not sure if anyone has more depth than them right now in this tournament.
First we've seen of Belorio in a couple of games.
Yeah, big body forward, likes to bang. Matrix slowly crawling back into this game. It got up to what, 13 or 14?
14 points, yeah.
Now they've got it back down to 9, and hopefully if you're an NX Matrix Malaysia fan, you want this to be 5 points or less by halftime.
Yeah, they had it down to 6 at the end of the first quarter.
But again, for the majority of the game, I felt like Zamboanga has controlled the pace, and it feels like they should be up by more than 9 points right now. So if you're looking for moral victories from the Matrix side, you'd have to say that if you're going into the half down by 5 or less, that's with Tevin Glass with 10 points, Wong with 8, and no one else really functioning at their top level. That's a win for you.
Yeah, they had cut it down to 5, if you remember, 4 actually, and then
that's a good point.
Zamboanga hit a couple of threes. Kuquete launches another one. That one's off the mark. Williams skies. Bounce pass down to Glass. Kick. Down to Glass again. Williams finally arrives. Wide open look. Deep breath. Fires away. Can't get it. On the other side, Williams can't hit it. I don't know if he's mad at himself or the no call.
Yeah, I think everyone on the Matrix side was screaming for a foul there, and I think there was one. It looked like a lot of contact on him going up.
Offensive foul. They're calling it on Carino. Maybe that's the payback.
That is the payback.
At least that's what the crowd seems to be thinking. By the way, crowd starting to get pretty good size now.
Yeah, Chuck, that's a really good point. That was definite payback right there. They missed the call at the other end. They knew it. Didn't call the technical on the entire bench, and coach Jeffrey Hernandez, who reacted very adamantly to that. And so they made the makeup call at the other end.
That was the other referee that called it, and I'm sure that's what they're talking about right now. You missed one on one end, you give it back at the other. That's as old as the game itself. Interesting game here, very entertaining. Probably the most entertaining game we've seen in a while. Always seems to be that way when we see Zamboanga play. They lead Malaysia by 46-37. We hope we've got you for the rest of the night, ladies and gentlemen, because we got Hong Kong Eastern, the Singapore Slingers coming up next game. You don't want to miss that. Battle of the two undefeateds, or two left undefeateds. One of them's going to come out of the game with a loss. You just joined us, Saigon Heat taking care of business, and Ao defeating Lura Surabaya by over 52-point win in the opener at 4 p.m. Game was effectively over at the end of that first half. Saigon very, very impressive in that victory, and Zamboanga has looked very impressive so far here as they lead by 9 points with 1:24 to go in the first half. Chuck Schreiner along with Scotty McKinnon here at the first leg of the 2023 ABL season here in the Lion City of Singapore at the OCBC Arena.
Yeah, Chuck, and if you look at the stats right now, what is keeping the Matrix in the game is fouls. They've shot 18 foul shots, 13-18 compared to 6 foul shots for the Zamboanga Valientes. Zamboanga's fouled them 15 times, where the Matrix have only had 6 fouls. So that's a massive difference in what is keeping this game competitive right now on the Matrix end.
Yeah, and if you're Coach De Los Santos, you don't really mind those fouls because they're spread pretty evenly amongst the 12 players that he's used. So nobody really. Hester's got a couple of fouls. The crowd here seems to be pro-Malaysia.
Yeah, very pro-Malaysia so far.
Here's Coach Jeffrey Hernandez. You remember him if you've been a Singapore Slinger fan as long as I have been. Used to be a Slinger back in the day. So again, Scotty, just to re-emphasize your point, Malaysia at the line again.
With the potential to get their 20th and 21st foul shots of the game, which would be 15 more than the Zamboanga Valientes right now.
Looking at the fouls, Cadiz with 2. Lingani actually has 3.
Yeah, so does Kukwete. He just picked up his 3rd right there on that jump shot.
So
Cardinals sin of fouling a jump shoot, especially behind that 3-point line.
So opportunity Malaysia to crawl back to within 6.
And again, if you're an NX Matrix Malaysia fan, you are very happy with these results, going through, pushing back into this game and making it competitive.
Yeah. Also, Bo, you're going to have to figure out some sort of a strategy to deal with this incessant pressure that Zamboanga gives you on the offensive end. And to make matters worse, they're starting to hit their threes. We didn't see that in the first game. Now, they started to hit around the second half against Saigon. Look, getting behind the defense again that time. But dropping the ball. Opportunity for Malaysia here. No foul called. Wong. Wide open look for 3, off the mark. We're going to give that on Wong, number 11, I guess. Well, referees with their hands full tonight.
Yeah. A lot of fouls called in this first half, over 25 right now, combined with both teams.
Gane likes using that left side. Now they'll bring it back out top again, rotate the ball. Quick passes, long 3 is good.
There's J.R. Kowalik, 6'5" out of FEU, and another Zamboangan product. It's amazing the locals are from this region are playing so well here in an international competition.
Zamboanga passing the ball very well around the perimeter, Scotty. Again, another foul.
Yeah, and so eventually what Zamboanga is going to have to start to do is they're going to have to start to play to the officials. Because this is 16 of 21 now for the line. They're just giving up 16 points, 80% for the foul shot for free-throw line for the Matrix. About to shoot their 22nd and 23rd foul shots in one half.
That's amazing.
So eventually what you have to do is you figure out how the officials are calling it tight today. Got to show your hands, move your feet, and stop getting ticky-tack fouls.
Out of bounds it goes off of a play by Hester that he'd like to have back. So Malaysia will have control of the ball with 18.9. They'll take a timeout and figure out a last possession opportunity. Right now it's an 8-point game. They'll try and get it back to 6. Malaysia not shooting that well from beyond the arc either, Scotty. And I know they're not a 3-point shooting team, but my goodness, I didn't think Zamboanga was either, but the rotation they've got on their passes around the perimeter, just like clockwork.
Yeah, Chuck, you said it perfectly.
From spot to spot, and then you've got an open look, so you're going to knock those down a lot of times.
28% now from the 3 for the Matrix Malaysia. We have 53% for the Zamboanga Valientes. You spoke right to the stats there. Fantastic point by you, and a huge difference in this game.
Coach De Los Santos doing a masterful job, and he wasn't even the coach of record. It was supposed to be Joseph Ramarity. Then we were informed the day of the first game, no, it was Expedio De Los Santos. And he's done a great job.
Yeah, and they've improved. They got better and better every single game, especially from that game Louvre to seeing them play now. It looks like a completely different basketball team.
Exactly.
So with 14 seconds left here on the shot clock, 18 seconds left in the first half. Ball out of bounds. You got to get the ball back to Tevin Glass, you would think, and have him get some ball screen action, some kind of ball screen action with the big man, Amir Williams.
That was just a careless play by Hester on that last possession. Lining up the 3 is going to be off the mark.
Well, play for the last shot. There you go. Play for the last shot.
Nice first step for 2. For 49-43. Long prayer. Not close. Okay, so mission accomplished by Zamboanga. They hold off Malaysia in the second quarter. They trailed by 6 at the quarter. Malaysia not able to make any headway in that second quarter. 49-43 at the end of the half.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
for. Long shot, but I got the reach. Pop, lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach.
One-on-one, J-Ball. You do know this is my house, right? Yeah, it's my house too.
Take charge, no one can compete. I just do what comes natural. Big time shot by This is what they came for. So what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Give them what they came for. This is what they came for. Long shot, but I got the reach. Pop, lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach.
One-on-one, J-Ball. You do know this is my house, right? Yeah, it's my house too.
Take charge, no one can compete. I just do what comes natural. Big time shot by This is what they came for.
Yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 49-43, the high-octane offense by Zamboanga Valientes have taken the day so far. NS Matrix Malaysia having to do their damage at the free throw line. That is one thing that has been in their favor, Scotty, but they're going to have to come up with something, I think, a little bit more steady in their offense, just relying on free throw shots. They're going to have to start hitting some shots from outside. As we said before, what they're shooting like 28% from beyond the arc.
Yeah, 28 from 2, 29 from 3. It's been the foul shots that kept them in. Already 17 and 23, 73% from the foul shot line. So from the free throw line, that's what's kept them in. And if you look on the Zamboanga Valientes side, Ryan Smith, 18 points, 10 rebounds. You called it, Chuck. He came into tonight's game with a ton of enthusiasm, and it's been reflected in how well he's played tonight.
So a lot of the reason why Malaysia's shooting percentage is that low is the pressure that Zamboanga has put on them, on the shooters, and the breakneck speed in which they were having to go up and down. So Zamboanga, you know, as is their habit, they control the pace at some point in the game. I mean, you know, your plan, well, we're not going to let that happen to us. We're going to play our controlled type of a game, but it seems that every team that they play, they fall prey to them at some point in time during the game. And as you said before, very hard to turn it off and on. It's not that easy.
Yeah, it's just they impose the style of play that they want to play, and they make it contagious. They trick and can coerce the people into doing what they want to do, and it's a very, very fun style to watch. It's entertaining basketball, and so far it's been quite successful at this ABL Invitational here in Singapore.
Yeah, there's Smith right there, premier player in the first half, at least for Zamboanga, but they've got other guys that are doing well also. Jeremy Arthur has been pushing, there he is right there, has been pushing the pace as well as anybody. He alternates with number 10 Lingane running the point. They can either put him at the 1 or the 2. Hester, they haven't really needed his 30, 35 points, whatever it is. He's been doing some work underneath. He's picked up a couple of fouls, but otherwise has been in pretty good control. So, you know, they're, you know, we looked at them the first day. I'm not going to say we weren't impressed, but we just never thought that they would turn out to be the force that they have been in this tournament, getting better and better, as you said, Scotty. Every game they've improved.
Yeah, and the question now is, are they going to be able to hold it over? And their best quarters so far have been the fourth quarter. So if they can do this in the first half, imagine what that fourth quarter is going to look like if you go by the first 2 games they had.
Yeah, we were worried about them, you know, with the style of play they have. Well, they've got to play 3 games in the trot against 3 quality teams. They did lose last night, 75-71, but they're, I'm not going to say in control of this game, but they certainly have the advantage right now. And then tomorrow it doesn't get any easier for them as they have to play the hometown Singapore Slingers.
Yeah, I believe this is a must-win for them right here. They've controlled this entire game. They've been up by almost 15 points. This is a game that Zamboanga needs to walk away with the W.
Okay. Zamboanga in white, coming at you from right to left. They have possession of the ball right now. Turning the corner, getting inside, high off the glass. Can't get that to fall. Glass with the rebound. Back come Malaysia in the black uniforms. Forcing the ball and getting his pocket pick. Lead pass, here we go again. Arthur with the finish.
Kukwete with the basketball IQ. They're real smarts to steal that basketball and push it ahead to Jeremy Arthur. Another transition bucket for Zamboanga.
So up to an 8-point lead. Ong running the point. Inside, working for position. Nice job by Williams.
Yeah, Amir Williams, 8 points now and 2 of 7 from the field, 7 rebounds. Nice finish coming back to his left hand on the hook there.
You know, I think another thing, Scotty, that is hurting Malaysia a little bit is their lack of depth at the guard position. They don't really have that dominant guard that a lot of these other teams have. You know, and I think it's hurting them a little bit.
Well, they don't really have that third import. I believe Aloka's a heritage import, but he only played 5 minutes in the first half, and so a lot is weighted on Amir Williams and and Tevin Glass.
Exactly, and they do most of their work downstairs. So this is another reason why they're hurting on the perimeter, shooting, as we said, 26 to 29%. Good rotation again by Zimbabwe. And there's a 24-second clock violation because of the air ball on the opposite side, so Malaysia will get the ball back.
Offensive end for Zamboanga. I'd love to see Antonio Hester look to score a little bit more. He's done a great job on the boards with 8 defensive boards today, but only 6 shot attempts. That's for someone who scored 35 points in the first game. Just a little bit tentative right now on that offensive end. Would love to see him get more shot attempts because he's such a special offensive basketball player.
Ong again looking downstairs. He's already picked up his dribble, so he's got to get rid of it. Coming up to help out is Ting. Ting through the lane, gets stripped again. There's that man again, Lenganye, taking the ball to the hoop. The follow by Hester.
There we go, Antonio Hester running the floor. A fantastic steal from Coete to start. And that's the shot attempts we want from Hester.
Foul, that'll send Glass to the line. But every time a Malaysian or Matrix player goes up inside the key, he draws a crowd of 2 or 3 white shirts. They're not shy to foul. Let's see who that's going to be on. Is that on Arthur or Smith? Nobody really in foul trouble. We'll check that. There are. Coete, has 3. Lengane has 3. Cadiz with 2. Valorio with 2.
Here comes that 2-2-1 full court press again.
Yeah, not real effective when they employed it last.
Yeah, it doesn't do much,
quarter.
eh?
No.
Doesn't need shot clock.
And in fact, it's right like that. It's leaving a lot of spaces. Almost tipped in by Smith. Cross court pass. Ting catch and shoot for 3, no good. Hester steps in. Nice block out there by Arthur to keep Williams off the glass. He lost the thread a little bit.
There's no call, keep playing.
No call. My goodness. Referee swallowing his whistle there. Obvious infraction. Rolling to the hoop. It's either on.
Just tip out there.
Just tipped out of bounds, no foul, okay.
And this is only a 7-point game, Chuck. It feels like the Zamboanga Valientes are up by 11, 12, 13 points. It's only a 7-point game, so all NX Matrix needs to do is to get some more high-quality, high-percentage shots from the field because they're still only shooting 28%, 35 overall.
But Zamboanga on the other side of the ball contesting everything that goes up. Williams. Glass, see how far these big guys are having to camp way outside. Tang getting in the side into Williams for 1.
Well,
he'll go to the line.
Here comes maybe the push from the Matrix. Williams on a 10th point of the game in the and 1. He's got 10 points, 9 rebounds now, and they've got it down to 5 points with potential to get it to 4.
Check it out again. Tipped out. Ting, great vision by him to spot Williams down on the low post.
Touch foul by Arthur there. Just should have gave up the layup.
Can't convert on the free throw. It's still a 5-point game. Arthur pushing it. They almost look like Zimbabwe almost look like they're on the verge of out of control, but they are not out of control.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that verge gets the other team and picks up their pace as well. And it's been working today.
There's another 3.
Coete with 10 points now, and he is really an elite level athlete. Gets to a spot on the offensive end whenever he wants.
Touch foul. That'll go against number 24.
Yeah, and these are the fouls they don't need. Touch fouls 30 feet from the rim. There's already 3 fouls on them with 6 minutes left in the quarter here, and that's what the Malaysia team has been getting into bonus so early and often here in the quarters, to the tune of
climbing on his back. Glass.
26 foul shots already today for the Matrix.
Nice job by Hester to tie up Glass. Baseline move, but nowhere to go. Having to take a wild shot at the buzzer. Great defensive stand by Zamboanga. And on the other end, foul. As Hester rolls to the bucket.
Got a great way for them to get out. It's that great defensive stand they just had. They get a great defensive stop. Everyone releases, starts running, and then Hester is so fast for his size. He's beaten the other team's bigs down the court every single time.
Well, Ong, if he's going to defend like that, he might as well just get out of the way.
Yeah, a little bit of a dangerous foul there. Took him out when he was in the air, and Hester went flying.
Very, very impressed with this Zamboanga team compared to what we saw the first day. You know, they looked a little bit ragged against Surabaya. Both teams look like, you know, they're just one of these teams that like to say they're running, but you know, run out of gas. But they, if anything, they've just gotten stronger. Ooh, what happened there? Don't know if the ball slipped out of his hands or what. That was Hugh.
Yeah, I had an open
Smith
layup
closing
there.
down on him.
An
Watch
open layup
this.
there. Look, you heard the footsteps like you'd like to
think
say.
So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lost control of the basketball. Saw the footer Ryan Smith coming.
That's right. So 9-point game. Bernardo, yes. That's his second bucket of the game.
Nice little step back on the baseline there, Jeff Bernardo.
11-point game. Look at the swarmy defense. Can't get it to go. Shooting woes continuing for Malaysia, but a lot of that's caused by the pressure defense applied by Zamboanga.
Yeah, they're everywhere, Chuck. Contesting every shot, closing out hard, recovering and rotating. It's like a swarm of bees out there right now on the Zamboanga defensive end.
Good analogy. Checking in now for Zamboanga, number 17, Amores again.
The Matrix just had it at, what, 4 points or 5 points, and it's expanded again to 11.
Yeah. Very, very aggressive. Got it in one. And that may well be a three-point play, but look how hard they have to work for every single shot. There are 3 white shirts right around the vicinity there.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Tevin Glass being an unbelievable basketball player, that's a really tough finish and a quality finish on his point. That's not an easy basketball shot.
But look at the way they closed on him as he penetrated.
It's a great point, Chuck.
3-point play, 8-point game.
Tevin Glass with 14 points now, but like you said, 3 of 13 from the field.
Bernardo hit the last shot. Trying to go baseline, oohs and ahs. Smith right there for, oh, can't hit it. Little 8-footer. 3 for Glass off the mark. Smith with the board. Long lead pass. Easy 2 for Hester.
Hester contests the 3 from Tevin Glass and releases, and another transition bucket. 18 points in the paint for the Zamboanga. 10 of them fast break now.
Gives it up, backup jumper for Tang. Long 2.
Man, that was a tough shot with the footer. Ryan Smith's hand in your face from the baseline. Real acute angle there.
Oh, Arthur spins, got it.
Jeremy Arthur with a nice handle, inside out, comes back to that
Certainly
left
is.
hand. Up and under with the English.
Tang gives it up. Williams ahead. Don't think he was expecting it, actually. Beautiful pass there by Tang, right where he needed to put it. It just didn't look like Williams was ready.
Yeah.
Watch it again. A little bit soft with the shot.
Yeah, and Ting's got 7 points now. He's got 5 of them here in the second half, and hopefully he starts to come alive a little because he's so important. The NBL MVP is probably the biggest local component for the NX Matrix Malaysia.
It's the first of 2.
And Matrix just still hanging around. It's still hanging around because of that foul line. 28th foul shot of the game now.
It was obvious Malaysia looked at the tape. They knew that Zamboanga was quick and they like to get out in the open court, but I think it shocked them a little bit to realize just how fast they were. It's one thing to watch something on video or to sit here and watch them, you know, but to be out there on the court with them in real time, that's something different.
Yeah, and then that quickness on defense to hold them to 55 points. This is a really good Malaysian team.
Great ball movement that time by Zimbabwe. You can see the pass by Carino on the baseline.
Fantastic. 9 of 20 now, almost 50% from the 3. 27 points from the 3 for the Valientes.
Behind the screen goes Wong. Inside again to Williams. Nice spin move.
Great composure there from Williams. Saw the double come from Hester and spun away from it. Beautiful hook shot.
Thought about it. Arthur. Lingane. Arthur from way downtown. Misses everything. Ill-advised shot. There was still 8 left on the shot clock.
Yeah, and they've gone back to this zone again, this 2-3 zone with Amir Williams on the rim, trying to slow down the Valientes, trying to keep them from getting in the lane and kicking out for those threes.
And they're slowing down their offense too, as you can see. But again, they're going to need a lot more of that, Scotty.
It's a big shot from Wong.
Hester trying to back down glass. Good rotation. Lingane.
It's back down to 6 now, Chuck.
Hester.
Very competitive basketball game here.
Ball knocked away. Open court, glass, Tang, 2. So Zamboanga is going to have to call a timeout. And I think Malaysia finally found an adjustment that might just work for them, Scotty.
Yeah, the same thing happened in the first half. They went to that 2-3 zone and it bothered Zamboanga and turned to some easy buckets on the other end for the Matrix. And so a 4-point game here, a lot of pressure on Zamboanga. They've controlled the majority of the game and now it's only a 4-point lead. And are the Valientes going to be able to keep the Matrix out of this? Because now they're starting to feel that pressure and you can tell.
And also on the offensive end, on their half-court game, slowing things down considerably as well, making sure that they're taking the open shots and more to the point, knocking down those open shots, which is something they did not do in the first 3 quarters. So better late than never.
Yeah, and Wang Yihao and Ting Chung Hung have come alive. 12 points now for Wang, 7 for Ting, and the majority of those points coming in the second half. So 20 combined for those two right now, and when they get going, it's a very special and fun thing to watch.
So we'll see if this strategy works out for Malaysia. Zamboanga, we know, can put up a lot of points very, very quickly. It doesn't take much for them to turn a game around very, very fast as well. It's noticed by that 43 points that they put up in 1 quarter in 10 minutes against Surabaya in game number 1 to turn a 9-point deficit into a runaway win. Chuck Schreiner, Scott McKinnon, so happy you could join us on this Saturday evening. We got a big one to go after this. Hong Kong Eastern and the Singapore Slingers.
It's a big moment in the game here. Now the Matrix have made a couple pushes to get it within 4 or 5, and Zamboanga has always rallied to push it back to double digits. It's going to be interesting to see if this happens again right now.
Ball knocked away, alertly picked up by Zamboanga, but he traveled with it, or no, they're going to say it's a foul on Ting, I guess, in the backcourt.
A bailout foul right there with 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Lingane was in trouble.
There it is.
Got
Great
a little
reactions.
excited. A little excited to knock him.
Yeah, pushed him into the backcourt.
Yeah, good call by the official.
So they'll load it up again. It's going to be off the mark. Ball on the floor. Hester alertly picks it up. Hester from Threesville. No. Tang with the rebound. Glass in the open court now. Williams. Another three being hoisted up, in and out. Stepping in to get it is Tang.
And a big run from the Matrix here, to the joy of the crowd, which is pro-Malaysian here in Singapore.
Absolutely. Zamboanga got caught watching the ball that time, Scotty. Nobody moved. Long three, misses everything. Could Zamboanga start, are they starting to feel the pressure?
Yeah, they haven't liked this 2-3 zone, and it's turned into a 8-0 run from the Matrix right now.
On the reverse, that'll tie the game. Williams.
Yeah, and you have to be happy if the NS Matrix Malaysia, they've shot 33% and 40%, and it's a tied game right now. Just grit and grind, trying to fight this game out and get a W here.
Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. What an exciting game. Shot from that left side is no good. A lot of standing around and watching. Finally, Malaysia picks it up. Tang. Long three from the left side, no good. Under 30 seconds to go. Back comes Zamboanga. Ngane. Little runner is good. Off of 1 foot.
Massive shot from J.R. Kowalik there to try and stop the bleeding for the Zamboanga Valientes.
6 seconds to go. Foul. That'll go against Hester. That'll be 3 on him.
Yeah, and to the line for the Matrix as they're in bonus again.
So finally, Hester picks up foul number 3. Trying to explain to the referee his interpretation of how the rule should be applied.
And if you're the Matrix Malaysia, you have to be tremendously happy with the score going into the third quarter here, because you obviously haven't played your best offensive basketball, shooting 35% from the floor, but the ability to get to the foul line, the ability to defend on the other end, it has really turned around the second half, and the Matrix have all the momentum pushing forward here into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Wee checking in the game, number 33. He's played sparingly today. There's Carino also just checking in. Hits them both, so tie game. See what they can do in the last 3 seconds. A long searching shot is off the mark. We've got a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, NS Matrix Malaysia starting to solve the puzzle that's Zamboanga Valientes. We've got 10 minutes to go. We'll see how it all shakes out in the fourth quarter when we come back.
Quarter break. That means I'm back. That means we've got some free t-shirts. We're doing a little.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you couldn't ask for any scenario that was more exciting than this. 68-68 after 3. MS Matrix Malaysia and Zamboanga Valientes. Valientes led by 6 in the first quarter. They led by 6 in the second quarter. And after 3 quarters all knotted up, And you know, it just looked like a little bit of a downer there, obviously, for Zamboanga. As you said, Scotty, could have a lot to do with that defense that the NS Malaysia or Matrix Malaysia is putting on. They don't like that 2-3 zone, as you were saying. Then all of a sudden quit hitting their outside shots as well. Couldn't figure out how to penetrate the zone. And Malaysia taking advantage of that. Hester, he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Real good take there from Antonio Hester. And he's got more aggressive here in the second half. He's got 12 points and 13 rebounds now. And nice to see them get to the foul line.
Yeah.
Only their 9th foul shot of the game right now compared to 31 for the NX Matrix Malaysia. A huge disparity in the amount of free throws that have been shot. And that's kept the Matrix in this game.
Back rims the first one.
Biggest lead of the game tonight for the Matrix, 15. Or sorry, for the Zamboanga, 15 for the Matrix. They have not led this game yet.
Only Wong, one of the key players, has 2 fouls. 3 Zamboanga players with 3 fouls. Ball out of bounds, then the turnover, it'll go back to Zamboanga.
Oh, big stop by Antonio Hester to try and change this momentum. The last thing you want to do is when a team's never had a lead an entire game is to give them that lead and give them that confidence. And so a couple big possessions from Hester here to start the 4th quarter.
Arthur on that right side. Ngane. Hester rolling to the basket with that quick first step.
Oh, quick first step, explosive. Well said, Chuck Schreiner.
Ball contested and 1. Arthur comes away with it. And again, Zamboanga with a nod, 2 this time. So just like that, Scotty, 5-point lead.
What a response for the Zamboanga Valientes. 5-point run out here in 4th quarter. You said this was their quarter in the previous 2 games, Chuck.
5 points in 48 seconds. Dumps it into Williams. Williams finishes it off, 73-70.
Good paint touch there coming down. Devin Glass with a great decision to throw it inside.
They stay in that 2-3 zone, but they reach it out just a little bit. Arthur tied up underneath. That's going to go against Malaysia. Had Smith all tied up, holding on.
And Smith with 18 and 13 now, but he had 16 of those 18 points in the first half. So not quite the performance in the second half that we had from Ryan Smith in the first. And so look to him get a little bit more involved here down the stretch.
That was Queck, the villain there. Sliding across is Arthur, way back outside. Pretty dangerous there. What do we have? Holding on the inside or a 3-second violation. It is a holding call. That will go against number 13 from Zamboanga, Ryan Smith.
It's the 3rd on Smith.
Boy, look at the hustle by Arthur on glass.
Great defense.
Bounce pass into Williams. Pushing, that'll go against Smith again.
No, and Ryan Smith's setting his hands up, which he didn't have. As soon as Amir Williams puts his head down, goes to the rim there, that's a push, a forearm push, that's a foul.
That's 4 fouls now on Smith.
Yeah, you have 4 fouls now on Coete as well. So Zamboanga Valente is in big time foul trouble.
See if they go straight at Smith. Williams will. Nothing Smith can do, just has to slide sideways, get in the path.
Yeah, an intelligent play by him there not to pick up his 5th with 8 minutes left in this game.
1-point game. Hester, lucky to get that back. Good hands by Malaysia on the inside, outlet pass, 2-on-2, skip pass and picked off.
Great hustle by Ryan Smith, the footer to sprint back on defense there.
Well short, stepping in the lane again, Malaysia. Wow, what a time for them, for their shooting prowess to disappear. Glass loses it, Arthur coming back. 3-on-2 break. Lead pass, Hester with the finish.
What a defensive game Jeremy Arthur has had, guarding one of the premier imports here in the ABL and doing an absolutely fantastic job of moving his feet lateral and keeping him in front.
Slipping and falling. See what
Arthur again.
Zimbabwe can do with this. Almost taken away. Long three is going to be off the mark. Oh, they dodge a bullet that time.
Be interesting to see when they come back with James Kugwete. He has 4 fouls, but I believe they should probably get him in soon for J.R. Kowalin, who's missed his last few three-point shots.
Things getting chippy now, very physical. Entry pass, Glass, off-balance shot. A little bit out of control, actually. White shirts converging. Then Gane will back it up. He's got Arthur to his right. Gane will let it fly from 3, no good. Williams with the board.
Love to see a touch in the high post or the short corner. They're just swinging it side to side now.
Yeong now. Dumps it in. Smith working against Williams. Williams has to kick it back out. The pass intercepted. Back comes Zamboanga. High arcing shot off the mark. Offensive board.
And again, this scrambly type of playing style that Zamboanga has got the Malaysian Matrix into.
Certainly have. Lingane rolls to the basket. The tip is good by Smith.
Ryan Smith with those hands around the rim again. Soft, silky touch, finesse, offensive rebound to get himself to 20 points on the night tonight.
4 fouls, so living dangerously, but great soft hands that time. You made an important point there, Scotty. Zamboanga just playing with reckless abandon, and Malaysia just doesn't really know how to handle it. Again, they take it to the verge of almost out of control.
Yeah, and then they bait you into it.
Yeah, and then teams that like to pride themselves in, you know, playing a controlled game of basketball, it sort of takes them out of their comfort zone, and I think that's a big plus that Zamboanga has over the other teams.
And then when you play 12 players, it's you can do that, and that their depth that they have allows them to play up and down and to really attack on offense, but also attack on defense. Their closeouts, their pressure, their attempts at steals. It's all predicated on that depth and their fitness, and so they have a 5-point lead here with 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, Zamboanga, they almost seem like they're chaotic in the way they play, but it's not. It's a controlled chaos.
On their terms.
Yes. So look of concern on NS Matrix Malaysia's face. As we look at it again. Hands up by Nestor. There's a tip by Smith a little bit earlier on. Where would they be without him today? Smith has really stepped up in this game.
Now, if I was the Matrix, this is an opportunity for you guys to steal a basketball game. You have not led once, but with 5 minutes left in the game, you're down by 5 after shooting 30% from the field on the night. So this is an opportunity for you to steal an ABL basketball game here from the Philippines.
Tang. That's Quet. Williams backing Smith down. Nice turn and got it in one. And will that be it for Smith?
I believe that is, and this could be the biggest momentum play change in the entire game.
Now there was weak side help that comes over. Let's see.
They called it on Ryan Smith.
Yeah, Smith, so that's 5 on him. Smith will exit the game with his 5th foul. What a game he had. Left it all on the court. Wait a minute.
When he says that's
yeah,
only
that's
his
5.
fourth.
He thought it was only 4, but it's 5. Williams also pointing towards the bench.
Yeah, and this is going to be contentious because this is a massive play. When your footer fouls out of the game with 20 points and 14 rebounds, and this is the only person on your team who can consistently guard Amir Williams, this is going to be a very contentious issue, especially if they thought he only had 4 fouls.
Now, De Los Santos, I mean, really all they got to do is look at there's 2 scoreboards around that correctly have the official foul, so De Los Santos trying to game it.
Yeah, and Ken Mark Carino comes in, and this is going to be a huge 5 minutes for him.
So Williams here to get it to within 2, cannot. Board ripped down by Carino. Let's see if it could spur Zamboanga.
And if I'm the Matrix, I get a touch to Williams next. He's got 20 points and 12 rebounds tonight.
Long 3. Yes!
Coete, big-time players make big-time plays, and that's a massive shot for him.
Haven't heard from Coete for a while. Inside, Tang rolls to the basket and one!
What a move by Tang, getting to that left hand, gets the big on him. Carino creates the contact, finishes through it.
So 80-76 now. He should make that. That would negate that 3 that was just made on the other end by Quinquete.
23 points from the foul line today for the Matrix, just grinding out the ability to try and win this and steal this basketball game at the end.
Can't get it to fall, but offensive board! Right into the hands of Tang, who puts it up and in for 2.
Hester was scared of landing on the player beneath him there. Was focusing on that instead of grabbing the basketball.
So 80-78. Hester looking inside. Look at the black shirts controlling the interior now. Blocked away. Smart move to hold on to the ball. Good rotation. Tang, still Tang, hop step inside. Foul. Let's see who that will go against. A couple of players on the floor.
A lot of perspiration on that floor there, and Hester slipped on it and hammered number 14, Kwek Tien Yun.
Well, I think that's what he's saying. The floor is extremely slippery. That's twice that's happened to him.
Yeah, he came flying in on the help side there, on the weak side helping. Very scared, could have been a groin. He slipped and almost did the splits there and went flying into Kwek Tien Yun.
No indication if that's a foul yet or not, and they're walking down to the other end. So ball went out of bounds, and they're not calling a foul, but the possession for Zamboanga.
What a basketball game we've had here.
Tremendous,
Chuck.
Tremendous. At points in time, it looked like Zamboanga had the measure of Malaysia. They're just about ready to run them out of the gym, and then hanging around, waiting for something positive to happen, making it happen eventually. Still in that 3-2 zone. Hester misses.
I think you made a great point. They're forcing it to happen. They just forced it to happen.
Throwing it away. What was that? Miscommunication on that pass.
Yeah, if you're a Matrix fan, this hasn't been your prettiest offensive game, but you're right there at the end because you forced yourself to the foul line.
Hester can't. The rebound.
Look for Coete here. He's made some big shots in his collegiate career.
Trying to set himself up for another one. Off the mark. Williams corrals it. Plenty of time. Still the frenetic pace. Look at that. Out of bounds it went. Lingane.
The amount of fouls has not dissuaded or persuaded Zamboanga away from their aggressiveness on the defensive end.
No, the referees are going to have to stay right on top of this. With Smith gone, this increases the possibility that Zamboanga is going to have to even get more aggressive. They're forced to by circumstance.
And everything's going into the paint now for Malaysia.
Yeah, dumped it in by 2. Ten Chin Hung could be the MVP of this second half for Malaysia.
Yeah, 15 points and 5 and out at 9, Chuck. You said it perfectly.
Inside it goes. Arthur turns, fires. Well off the mark. Stepping in to pick it up. There's a player down on the floor. That's Tang. Referees play on. 2 players on the floor. Now it's a 5-on-3 situation.
And the Matrix opportunity for their first lead of the basketball game.
And a foul.
Ting is bleeding right now from the nose. He took a big shot there at center.
Well, he was on the floor at the other end. Somehow he got up and got back into the fray and almost scored.
He's leaking here like crazy.
They're going to have to get him out of there for a while. I think it'll be him to shoot the free throw shots.
Yeah, so now they're going to have to sub someone in of their choosing from the bench to shoot these foul shots. Because he is bleeding like crazy.
What a game. Well, just no let up from Malaysia. Every single game they've been in has just been like Mortal Kombat.
And they've just grinded this game out to have an opportunity here to take their first lead appropriately enough from the foul line with 2 minutes left.
So hopefully it's just a leaky nose and not a broken nose, Scotty. That's always your way he's reacting. I don't think it's a broken nose, but he's going to go to the bench, or if he's going to go somewhere else, that'll see if we can see where it happened. Right there, looked like his own teammate caught an elbow.
So they subbed Wei Jianfu, number 33, and a good choice to shoot the foul shots. Probably one of your best shooters coming off the bench who's played today.
This is the first one. Under 3 minutes to go.
Chance for Malaysia's first lead of the game today on the back of 23 made free throws so far.
They'll be hoping that Tang can get back into the fray. He's been indispensable for them, especially in this brilliant comeback here in the second half. One of two, so there's your lead. Lingane, Arthur, Hester, Lingane again backs it up. Arthur with the cut. Pinkete. Wide open look from the left side is off the mark. Tipped up again. Rebound controlled by Williams. There's your outlet. Oi.
And again, Malaysia just grinding this out, slowing it down.
Glass lurking on that left-hand side. Draws a double team. Williams!
Wow, Amir Williams with his 22nd point of the night on a massive two-hand flush on the backdoor cut from the baseline.
What recognition. As soon as Glass got the ball, he drew the double, allowing Williams to cut down to the baseline. Glass knew exactly what was going on, got the ball to Williams. Williams did the rest himself. 3-point lead now for Malaysia.
Yeah, and the NS Matrix Malaysia, what a second half they've had. They're shooting 40% now, but it's just the ability to continue to fight and hang around and hang around and hang around and hang around. They did it through the foul line the entire game, and now they're starting to make their jump shots, whether it is Wong, whether it's Ting, and whether it's Amir Williams on the massive two-hand flushes.
Their possessions, I would think, Scott, the last 2-12, they're going to have to stay pretty much inside. There's really nobody there that can contest except for Hester. And, they've got Glass, plus they've got Williams. So they, advantage NS Matrix right now. Now on the other side of the coin, Zamboanga, they are dangerous outside. They've got three guys that have loaded it up from Threesville all night. I don't know necessarily if you want to get away with that, but they're going to have a hard time dribble penetrating without Smith there to help clear some space for him. So, Zamboanga up against the 8-ball a little bit, I'm thinking.
Yeah, they've struggled in the second half from three. They're now 10 of 34 from three, and at halftime they were shooting around 45-50% from the three-point line. And so this zone has really worked. This 2-3 zone has really worked here in the fourth quarter, and it's allowed the Matrix to take a 3-point lead with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left here.
There's the flush by Williams. Extremely important possession here now for the Valientes. Arthur on that right side. A little bit of a slip there, missing everything. It was Coquette.
And shooting is contagious. They had made a ton before, and now a few misses in a row. The three-point shot hasn't been there in the second half for them.
Glass working against Arthur. Williams sliding over. He'll draw Hester. See if they dump it down to him again. They do. Looking for cutters here, Williams. He's going to have to do it by himself. Picked off. Not much ball movement that time by Matrix.
Great defense from Antonio Hester to square up Amir Williams.
Lingane switches it left side, blocked away. Who gets hands to it first? There's going to be a foul on Wee. Possession for Zamboanga. 1:30 left. Watch it again. Looked like it was partially blocked. Out top again. There's Lingane. Bounce pass to him again. Somebody's going to have to get rid of it. Nkete with the finger roll, no good. He gets his own rebound, backs it up. The shot through, yes! Right at the stroke of the 24-second clock. So 82, or did he get it off in time? Yes, he did. So 83-82, 1:13 to go. With a timeout on the court.
What a move by Kukwete there at the end to follow the shot, get the offensive rebound, and put it back in to make this a 1-point game with 1:13 left.
Desperation time for Zamboanga, and they answer the bell. Kukwete not giving up on the play. Offensive board in there also, allowing them to keep it alive at that end. The other side of the ball, well, they're minus Teng Ching Hong. Still don't see him. We thought at first it was just a leaky nose, but it might be something a little bit more complex than that. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have been back in the game by now, Scotty.
Yeah, especially a important player like him. 17 points and 7 rebounds, 4 assists tonight. He would definitely be back in the game, and it was bleeding a ton there over on the floor. So hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully it's not a broken nose like you said.
Yeah. It's like he caught an elbow. I couldn't tell if it was from his own player or the opposing player coming up, rolling to the basket, but he caught it, and he caught it hard. He was on the floor for a while, managed to get up and come back down the court, and almost hit a layup, but they had to leave when the foul was called. Nkete again, watch this finger roll and hustling in and getting his own rebound. Look at the hustle by Hester to follow.
Interesting enough, Matrix choose to take the ball out at a half, which means they only have 14 seconds on the shot clock instead of 24.
And here they are at the bottom now.
Have a look to get Tevin Glass
14,
the ball here.
14 seconds, yeah. See who rolls over. Wong to bring it in. He's having a hard time with it. Now he's got it. Has the ball knocked away. Hester, one-on-man to beat. Can't hit it. No foul called. Malaysia coming back. Under a minute to play.
Game on the line and the transition layup there for Kukwete.
Glass will back it up. 9 on the shot clock. Taking on Arthur. Bump, fires away, can't get it to go. Arthur saves it.
What defense from Jeremy Arthur.
Lingane around the free throw line. Nkete rolling, firing away. In and out it goes. 22 to go.
Got to look to foul.
They're going to have to foul, and they do. Nkete with the foul.
Oh, and a fantastic pull-up jump shot there from Kukwete, and in and out with the chance to win the game.
No choice here but to foul. There it is. Might as well try for the steal while you're at it. So Wong will go to the line.
Yeah, and Wang Yihao is a veteran player here. Played for the Kale Dragons in the past. Clutch basketball player, played on the Malaysian national team. This is one of the guys that you want at the line shooting foul shots with the game on the line.
Not a whole lot of empty seats here at the OCBC Arena. Some of the seats on the side, on the periphery, where the vision isn't as good, are open. But otherwise, great looking crowd here at the OCBC Arena. Chuck Schreiner and Scotty McKinnon, hoping you're enjoying this one. There's your 2-point lead.
Long clutch in the first shot.
Well, the good news is for Zamboanga, they will get the ball back. The bad news is they've only got 15.3 seconds. In and out. Arthur wide open. Player goes down the three, in and out. Rebound, backup jumper, off the mark. Malaysia has it, the foul. With 1.5 seconds to go.
Oh, and a fantastic crossover retreat dribble from Jeremy Arthur for the game. The step back three-pointer, in and out. And
well, these were the shots that were falling for Zamboanga in the first half. And all of a sudden, shots deserted. That was a tough try there by Carino.
Carino didn't realize how much time he had left on the clock. He had 5 seconds left there. Great offensive rebound, but he could have kicked it back out and got, I believe, a better look than that for an opportunity to tie or win the basketball game.
So make them both. That'll salt the game away pretty much. There's one with a second and a half to go. Oh, heartbreak city for Zamboanga. They had this game under control for over 3 quarters.
The Matrix took their first lead with 4 minutes left in the game.
That ought to do it. So a second and a half, crowd responding. Zamboanga will have one more opportunity. Now, I've seen it before. I've seen people just take a three, make it, and get fouled, but that's what it would take literally for Zamboanga to get out of this hole that they're in right now.
Yeah, if you're the Matrix, you're not contesting anything.
Nothing.
You're sitting 5 people inside
right.
the three-point line, hands up. The last thing you want to do is foul anyone on this possession.
Well, literally, you don't even have to defend.
No, you're right.
So we'll see how that works out.
And you talk about the Matrix, just what a game, like you said, hanging around. Don't take their lead until the last 4 minutes of the game, and on the backs of Amir Williams with 22 points and 15 rebounds, 5 block shots for the big man in the middle.
Yeah. Well, the key point in the game, obviously, when Smith went out, I mean, he was having just a whale of a game, 20 points, 13 rebounds. And, without his presence in there, really, Zamboanga doesn't have anything except for Hester. So pretty much Matrix able to dominate proceedings inside, and they took advantage of that.
Yeah, and they still had 2 opportunities to win the game down the stretch there, whether it was Coete in his pull-up jump shot or Arthur in the step-back 3. It was there, it was on their hands, and both shots were true and straight and just in and out, and sometimes that's the breaks of the game.
Yeah, well, Arthur, his opponent had fallen down, so he had an extra look, even more time. There's a shot at the buzzer, no good. So 86-82. Malaysia comes even in this tournament. They go 2-2, showing their grit. Zamboanga, hard luck again. They fall to 1-2. 2 games on the trot, Scotty, where they've had the game in their focus and just it got away from them in the fourth quarter both times.
Yeah, and they controlled the majority of the game. Their efforts, their composure, their defense, their offense was there, and then it just didn't come to fruition at the end. And I think it was the foul shots that kept the Malaysian team in the game, shooting 27 of 39.
Absolutely, that's what kept Malaysia in the game when things were looking tough. They trailed by as many as 14 points, but they're able to hang around, as we said, the first couple of quarters. They went into the halftime down by 6. Then they came out and started to fall behind big again, but then their foul shooting brought them back into the periphery. Smith fouls out. Malaysia, Matrix does the rest behind on the back, especially Williams. What a game Williams had.
Oh, like you said, Chuck, 22 points, 15 rebounds, 5 block shots for the man patrolling the middle for the Matrix.
Also, Teng, before he went out, had a huge game too. We got to give it to Malaysia too, or to Matrix too. Without Teng in the ball game, they were able to hang in there and get get the win anyway. So, both teams lose an important factor in their lineup, and they're still able to hang in there. Okay, so that will do it from the OCBC Arena as we look at the highlights. Let's take a look at the stats. These ought to be interesting. Rebounds, Scotty, 52 apiece. Assists, 17 and 15. Field goal percentage, 32 and 90 for Zamboanga. On the other side, 27 and 67, so marginally better for Matrix. 3-point shots, 10 of 38 for Zamboanga. And 5 of 23 for Matrix. Shot horribly from beyond the arc. Blocks, 6 blocks for Matrix. That was a big difference too. Steals, 13. You would expect that. Zamboanga, that is their strength. They're fast. turnovers, 14, 20 turnovers from the Matrix. Can you believe that? Second chance points, 12 and 20 for the Matrix. Bench points, 12 and 16. Points from turnovers, 20 and 17. So some telling stats there, but some very even stats there, and that's what it was, an even game. Very exciting game. I think it's the most entertaining game we've seen thus far.
Absolutely fantastic basketball game, Chuck. Entertaining from the start of the first quarter all the way to the end, where it came down to two game-winning shots that didn't go in. And the NX Matrix Malaysia, you have to be very happy if you're them. You also have to be very impressed with how they just grinded this game out, stayed in contact, and then ended up winning in the end game.
Right, Malaysia rises to 2-2. Incredible performance in the first leg here in Singapore. Zamboanga falls to 1-2. They'll have their final game against Singapore. That will be tomorrow. That will do it from the OCBC Arena. You got to come back and watch us. The last game coming up, Hong Kong Eastern and Singapore Singers. That'll start at 8 o'clock Singapore time in about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. We hope to see you there. For Scotty McKinnon, the production company, this is Chuck Schreiner from OCBC Arena. Final score again, 86-82 in favor of NS Matrix Malaysia over Zamboanga. We'll see you next time.
This broadcast of the ABL Basketball League may not be reused in any way, shape, or form without an express written consent of the ABL.